Well, good morning, my friends. I am so happy to be with you. So happy that we can spend this time going into our hearts together. And from that place deep within our hearts, begin this process of healing the wounds in this country's past and present. We tend to think, oh, things are so terrible right now because the country is so divided, but it's been divided in the past, much more violently so. Much more terrorism in the past. In the 1920s, the anarchists were bombing everywhere. It's really, no, we don't hear about it anymore. But, and we've come through that, and we'll come through this. And we'll come through this, my sense is, royally. Completely royally. Very, very, very optimistic about where we're going, even though it looks from the surface, watching the news, that it's not so friendly in this country, not so loving. But let's just get started. Let's just sit comfortably. Feet flat on the floor. As erect as it's comfortable for you to sit. Sometimes it helps to pull your shoulders up and drop them. Mostly we just want to set the stage to let our bodies know that we're moving deeply within ourselves. And the first thing that I'm going to invite everyone to do is just notice what your experience is right now. Are there any sensations in your body? Any aches, pains, any tightness, any stiffness? Or what's your relation with your senses right now? Are they alive? Are they connecting to the world around you? Or are they sort of dull? Whatever it is fine. All we're doing is we're noticing right now. We're just noticing. And let's say good morning to our hearts. You could just say, good morning, my heart, if you want. But really what I meant was, let's sit in this very ancient posture with both of our hands over our heart, just for a minute. The hands are an extension of the heart. And we speak of a labor of love, and it's because we put the love within our heart into our hands as we work. So when we bring our hands back to our heart, we are actually loving our hearts, enlivening, connecting our hearts. And just be in this position for a minute or so. Perhaps you can feel your heartbeat, perhaps not. It's just a question to look at. And now check again inside yourself. Just after a minute of sitting with our hands in our heart, you can put your hands down if you want, or keep them there. And what's your experience? What happens within yourself? Compared to a minute ago, has your state changed at all? How do your hands feel? Sometimes people find their hands are tingling. They don't even recognize that energy is flowing through their hands until they put their hands down. What's your connection like to the world, to the room that you're sitting in, to the chair you're sitting in? It's just an inquiry on the level of the senses, on the level of our internal measurements. In the last 2 days, we've been going right from here into heart rhythm meditation, which we'll do again. But I wanted to give you a little bit of the background, where it comes from. It actually comes from the desert fathers and the desert mothers of antiquity, of the 4th and 5th centuries. Most people don't know a lot about these great God-realized beings. I always used to just think there were a few hundred of them living in caves in the desert. I actually did some research and discovered that there were tens and thousands of them, 80,000 at a time type of a thing, 100,000 at a time, building vast cities, all based on the extraordinary God realization of a number of these beings and doing incredible healings, that sort of a thing. And they meditated with their hearts, with their breath, and with their heart. And my 2 heart teachers, Pran and Susanna Baer, with a school called I Am Heart, basically revived this. They went back and they researched, did all the readings. I did the same thing after I got so touched by this. And the essence really is connecting the rhythm of our breath to the rhythm of our heartbeat. So let's just begin this process. And the first thing we do is we just notice our breath. Just be with your breath. Every time we just sit with something, it's a way that we're loving it. And notice, the more we pay attention, the more love we're giving. How easy is it to breathe right now? How full, how shallow is your breath? Excuse me. How full. And notice your nostrils. Is one nostril more open than the other? And again, right now, we're not trying to change anything. We'll do that in a second. Right now, we just want to be with our breath. And from here, let's start with our first change. And that is, let's start exhaling fully and inhaling fully using our abdominal muscles. That means fully inhale, to exhale fully, pull your abdominal muscles all the way back towards your spine. And as you relax those muscles, notice how the air just flows back in. A very full, deep breath. And now just continue. Inhaling fully. Exhaling fully. And notice here what happens. When we breathe fully, smooth, easy, full breaths, fully in, out, we're filling our system with energy, with prana. What's your experience with this? We're not looking for anything in particular, just to be aware, just to connect. And now let's begin this process of connecting the rhythm of our heartbeat to the rhythm of our breathing. That means begin to feel your heartbeat. Perhaps you can feel it just internally. I know many of you can. All of us will get there over time. If you can't feel it internally, just feel your pulse in your wrist or your neck, or hold your breath for 15, 20, 30 seconds, and you'll start to feel your heartbeat. No matter what, it's okay if you just count along with your heartbeat. And then, just count, even if you can't feel your heartbeat, and eventually your heartbeat will start to show up. So the invitation is inhale to 6 or 8 heartbeats, exhale to 6 or 8 heartbeats, could be 10, whatever's comfortable for you. And just connect the rhythm of our heartbeat to the rhythm of our breathing. And let's just do this for a second or a minute or so quietly by ourselves. Again, be gentle with yourself about your heartbeat. It's really okay to count. It will show up for you as we begin to get deeper and deeper in this meditation or these meditations. There's no struggling. There's no rush. We honor what the body allows. So just from this, notice your experience. Perhaps again compare back to when we first started this meditation. Discover what quietness is within you, what energy is within you, just your general presence, what it begins to feel like to be connected into your heart. Now, every morning I've been adding a little bit to this practice. The first morning we started breathing directly into our hearts with that stream of energy. Yesterday we invited everyone to come up with some statement of truth or some prayer to go along with the heartbeat. This morning I'm going to suggest that we begin to use the heartbeat as we breathe in with our heart, that you find some great teacher, some divine being in your life, and begin to, in effect, give a name to your heartbeat. So, if you're coming out of the Vedic tradition, you might, and you're connected to Rama or Krishna, you might say Rama, Rama. Or if you're a Christian, Jesus, Jesus. Or Mary, Mary. Or if you're a Sufi, Allah, Allah. Just an invitation. Usually a two-syllable name works best. And just continue our basic heart rhythm meditation, invoking this being on the heartbeat. Let's just do this for a minute or so. And again, take a moment to notice what your experience here is. Some of you might experience a great expansiveness with this. Some of you might just go deeper with this. Whatever your experience is, please honor that and love that. Some of you may not experience much, and that's perfect also. It's absolutely perfect. Whatever your system is willing to step into right now is where you want to go. We don't want the mind saying, oh, I should be experiencing this. What we want to do is honor where we are. Honor where we are. And if at any point we start to feel uncomfortable with what we're experiencing, that's the time to back off. Maybe a sense of overwhelm or out of control or something like this. We don't want to go there. There's no value, no spiritual value in overwhelm. The spiritual value is being right where we are, right now, and loving that. So whatever your experience is, could you simply give yourself some love and approval for being here, for making the decision to move and explore your heart, for making the decision to help heal the heart of America? Could you just allow yourself the recognition of that greatness that you are? It's just extraordinary to step up like this. So let's go back to the heartbeat. When we talk too much, sometimes we get out of it. And let's begin this process of expanding our energy out. Just for a minute or so. We'll just do it very quickly here. As we inhale, we pull the energy directly into our heart. The air comes in through the nose, but the stream of energy, the prana, fills our heart, and as we exhale, just expand out your energy body. Don't have to go very far. Just expand it out a little bit. We can all feel our skin, and this shows up as an energetic sensation beyond the skin. Maybe a few inches, maybe 18 inches, maybe 3 feet. Inhale, filling the heart with energy. Exhale, we expand out some more. Expand out some more. And just as far, as easy as it is, expand out to fill the room, fill the city, the state, the country, the universe. We're not going to spend a lot of time here this morning on this. Just that it's nice to go out with our energetic bodies. It's wonderful to go out with your awareness. Just invite your energetic body to move with you as far as you can go. And all we're doing is we're saying hello to our energetic body. We're exercising it. It's like doing yoga for the energetic body. Just inviting it to move out. And just know that our hearts are the center of our energetic bodies. We tend to associate the brain as the center of our consciousness body. We measure the brain waves. The heart waves measure far more powerfully, like 100 times more powerfully. And we're just expanding our heart waves out. And is it okay with us, just as a matter of setting an intention, that we live fully in our energetic body, that we live fully in our hearts? And there's nothing to do with an intention. You just set the intention and let it go. Is it okay with us if we recognize our hearts are the center point of our energetic world? And that is true for the person sitting next to us. It's true for the person walking down the street. It's true for the person around the world. It's true for the person who holds a different political opinion. Every one of us, a sovereign spiritual being, connected on the level of the heart. So today, we're going to take this deep place that we've gone to, and we're going to explore the impeachment inquiry and probable impeachment that's going on in the United States government right now. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just check to see, how do you feel about this? Some of us are saying, yes, it's about time. Some are saying, this is pure craziness. Some are saying, I don't like all this fighting. I want the country to run. Is it okay with you, from your heart, if you just sit in peace with all these different views that are coming up in America right now? Could you just be with them? Be at peace with them. We have this process, this pattern of reacting, judging, not liking, getting anxious, getting frustrated. Would it be okay with you if we start to develop a new habit? And that habit is of responding from our hearts, of responding with love, of responding with compassion, with wisdom. The part of us that objects to what's going on, we can call it the mind, we can call it the ego, a lot of names for it. Could you get in touch with that part of yourself right now? How easy it is to feel the other person is wrong and feel that you're right. And just notice when you go there, perhaps you can notice it's a different experience. How does it feel to be there versus being in your heart, looking at this impeachment process with love, with compassion, with wisdom? Which do you prefer? Judging or loving? I'd say it's pretty universal. Not completely. There are people that would really rather judge, and we want to honor that in them. That's where they are. But for most of us, it's far more powerful to respond with love, to respond with peace. Would it be okay with us if we allowed our minds and our hearts to return to their rightful place within us? Most of us live in our minds, and our minds are not qualified to embrace the world fully. Our minds keep us separate from the world. This is not to beat up the mind here. The mind is very valuable. very useful and a powerful tool for us. But only when our heart, the deepest part of us, our deep energy, our deep awareness, is leading our life. So let's just stir the pot a little bit on this phenomenon that's going through our country right now. How do you feel about the president speaking with foreign presidents, foreign prime ministers, about doing research on the whole Joe Biden thing and the whole Russian influence thing? Is he overextending his authority and trying to use the power of the government to attack a political opponent? Or is he doing his job as a chief executive, trying to root out corruption where he finds it? So welcome up whatever reaction comes up with that. And again, notice, is this coming from our mind, our judgmental body? Or is this coming from our heart that we're reacting? And would it be okay with you to shift from judgment into peace? And the mind will say things like, yes, but he's breaking the law and we have to catch him. That's fine. Notice that feeling and allow that to shift into love also, into peace, into quietness. And the next thought that comes up in my mind is, but then there'll never be justice. Whatever the thought that's coming up in your mind, could you again welcome that up? We don't want to suppress these thoughts or feelings. We want to love them, because loving is what heals. And would it be okay with you to be operating from a complete place of love and peace and still demand justice? That'd be okay, wouldn't it? And if you're on the other side, you're saying things like, this is just a political witch hunt to take down a president. Could you welcome that up? Could you love that feeling, that thought, and move back into your heart? And let that go. Let that be healed. Another thought that comes up here is, this is a complete misuse of the power of the House. This whole impeachment process. They're using impeachment as a political tool. It's just a thought. Half the country feels this. Half doesn't. Could you welcome it up? realize that it's just a thought or a feeling coming out of some deep wound in our collective energy. And could we let that go? And let it go some more. And more. Would it be okay with us if, living in our hearts, we look at the political divide in the country and choose to love and honor both sides and allow the country to move together and solve our differences from the depth of wisdom within our hearts? Because ultimately, we all want justice. We all want a clean environment. We all want a safe world to raise our families. We all want freedom and equality for everyone. The things we want, we shared more deeply than the surface differences between the parties. Would it be okay with us if we just, as a nation, let this divisive energy dissolve and fade away? Dissolve and fade away, so our country can move into its heart and step forward as a spiritual leader of the world. That's my vision. That we've been the economic and political leader of the world for many decades now, maybe even 100 years, you could say. And now is the time for America to transform the world spiritually. And just check to see how you feel with that intention. Is it okay with you? Does resistance come up? Could you pull forth your own intention that you're comfortable with? And let go of any resistance, any doubt, any fear. How's that going to happen? Not possible, all that sort of a thing. Could you just let that dissolve and rest in our hearts? So this is the time to take a minute or two to be very quiet within yourself. Again, notice where you are, what your experience is. Perhaps come back to your heartbeat if you've left that. Perhaps put your energy on the soles of your feet to be fully grounded to the earth. And open your eyes when it's convenient, when it's comfortable. So this is the end of the formal part of this session. It turns out, I've been having these technological problems that have been baffling me. I apologize for that the last couple of days. It turns out that the system we're using, which is freeconferencecalling.com, it's actually a pretty good system, but they have changed their technological service unknown to me. They changed their interface, which I was aware of, but it means that we really can't, practically speaking, do the optional part of this program online. So I'm very sorry. I'm going to be looking for another service that can change that. But I'm going to unmute everyone here. And just say, loved having you on this phone call. Loved having you on this meditation. And I hope I can fix this in the future. But I'm going to say goodbye and just hold you in love.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
You bet.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.